Imagine a life where no external chaos, no negative comment, and no unexpected twist of fate could shake your core. What if I told you that such unwavering emotional resilience isn't just a fantasy, but an attainable reality? Welcome to the world of Stoicism, a timeless philosophy that has guided some of history's greatest minds through life's toughest challenges. In a world that often feels like a roller coaster of emotions, Stoicism offers a powerful framework for cultivating inner peace and unshakable strength. By mastering our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can rise above the tumultuous tides of life and find tranquility amidst the storm. But how exactly can we apply these ancient principles to our modern lives? How can we transform ourselves from emotional reactors to rational responders? In this video, we'll explore 10 profound Stoic principles that will revolutionize the way you navigate your emotions. Get ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth as we uncover the secrets to becoming emotionally insensitive in the best possible way. As we dive into each principle, you'll find yourself captivated by the wisdom of great Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Their insights will challenge you to rethink your relationship with your emotions and provide you with practical tools for cultivating inner strength. Let's dive in. Principle 1. Acknowledge what you can and cannot control. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting, and feeling your stress levels skyrocket. You grip the steering wheel tighter, your mind racing with frustration and anger. But what if I told you that this common scenario holds a profound Stoic lesson? The Stoics understood that life is full of variables beyond our control. We can't dictate the actions of others, the weather, or the flow of traffic. But here's the game changer. We can control our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By focusing our energy on what's within our sphere of influence, we can find inner peace amidst life's chaos. Imagine the power of this simple shift in perspective. Instead of getting caught up in the frustration of being late, you focus on using the extra time productively. You take deep breaths, listen to a thought-provoking podcast, or mentally prepare for your meeting. Suddenly, the traffic jam becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a source of stress. This principle extends far beyond traffic jams. In every aspect of life, there are things we can control and things we can't. The Stoics invite us to direct our efforts towards what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and accept what lies outside our control with grace and resilience. But how can we put this principle into practice? Start by taking inventory of your daily stressors. Are you expending energy on things beyond your control, like other people's opinions or unforeseen circumstances? Make a conscious effort to redirect that energy towards what you can control, such as your own reactions and choices. As you embrace this Stoic principle, you'll find yourself becoming more emotionally resilient. External chaos will have less power over your inner state, and you'll be able to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and composure. But this is just the beginning of our Stoic journey. In the next section, we'll explore the power of self-discipline and how it can help you take control of your emotional responses. Get ready to discover the strength within yourself to face any challenge with unwavering resolve. Stay tuned. Principle 2. Practice self-discipline. Have you ever found yourself reacting emotionally to a situation only to regret it later? Perhaps you snapped at a loved one in a moment of frustration or made an impulsive decision driven by fear. These moments highlight the importance of self-discipline, a key tenet of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics recognized that our emotions can be powerful forces, but they also believed in the strength of the rational mind to control these reactions. By cultivating self-discipline, we can learn to respond calmly and thoughtfully rather than being swept away by fleeting feelings. Imagine a scenario where you receive a critical comment from your boss. Your initial emotional response might be defensiveness, anger, or even despair. But with self-discipline, you can take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Is there truth to the feedback that you can learn from? Can you respond professionally and gracefully rather than letting your emotions dictate your actions? Practicing self-discipline isn't about suppressing your emotions entirely. Rather, it's about developing the mental fortitude to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. It's about creating space between stimulus and response, allowing your rational mind to guide your actions. So, how can you strengthen your self-discipline muscle? One effective technique is the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This involves mentally rehearsing challenging situations and visualizing yourself responding with calm and reason. By preparing your mind in advance, you'll be better equipped to handle difficult emotions when they arise. Another way to cultivate self-discipline is through regular mindfulness and meditation. By taking time each day to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you can develop a greater awareness of your internal landscape. This awareness is the foundation upon which self-discipline is built. As you practice self-discipline, you'll find yourself becoming more resilient in the face of life's challenges. You'll be able to navigate difficult conversations, make level-headed decisions, and maintain your composure even in the most trying circumstances. But self-discipline is just one piece of the Stoic puzzle. To truly develop emotional resilience, we must also cultivate a strong inner self. In the next section, we'll explore how self-reflection and living according to your values can create an unshakable foundation for your emotional well-being. Get ready to discover the power of a life aligned with your deepest principles. Principle 3. Develop a strong inner self. In the midst of life's chaos, have you ever found yourself feeling lost or disconnected from your core values? The Stoics understood that true emotional resilience comes from a strong sense of self, a deep understanding of who you are and what you stand for. Developing a strong inner self is like building a sturdy lighthouse amidst the crashing waves of external circumstances. No matter how tumultuous the seas may be, your inner light remains constant, guiding you towards a life of purpose and integrity. So, how can we cultivate this unshakable sense of self? The Stoics point us towards two powerful practices: self-reflection and living according to our values. Self-reflection is the act of turning our attention inward, examining our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with honesty and curiosity. It's about asking ourselves the tough questions. What truly matters to me? What are my strengths and weaknesses? How can I grow and improve? By regularly engaging in self-reflection, we develop a clearer understanding of our authentic selves. We become more attuned to our inner world and more equipped to navigate life's challenges with self-awareness and wisdom. But self-reflection alone isn't enough. To truly develop a strong inner self, we must also align our actions with our core values. This means taking a hard look at our daily choices and asking ourselves, does this action reflect who I want to be? Is this decision in line with my deepest principles? Living according to our values isn't always easy. It may require sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term integrity. It may mean standing up for what we believe in, even when it's unpopular. But by consistently choosing to act in accordance with our principles, we cultivate a deep sense of self-respect and inner strength. Imagine the power of a life guided by a strong moral compass. When faced with difficult decisions or emotional challenges, you have a clear framework for action. You can move forward with confidence, knowing that you're staying true to yourself and your values. As you develop a strong inner self through self-reflection and value-aligned living, you'll find yourself becoming more emotionally resilient. External validation and fleeting pleasures will hold less sway over your well-being as you anchor yourself in the steadfast foundation of your authentic self. But the journey of self-discovery is ongoing. In the next section, we'll explore how embracing challenges as opportunities for growth can further strengthen your emotional resilience. Get ready to reframe obstacles as stepping stones on the path to a more fulfilling life. Principle 4. View challenges as opportunities. Life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect them. A job loss, a relationship ending, a health crisis. These challenges can feel overwhelming and emotionally draining. But what if we could transform our perception of these obstacles? What if, instead of seeing them as roadblocks, we viewed them as opportunities for growth? The Stoics understood that challenges are an inevitable part of the human experience. Rather than wasting energy wishing for a life free of difficulties, they encouraged us to embrace these trials as chances to learn, adapt, and become stronger. Imagine you're facing a significant setback in your career. You've been passed over for a promotion, or even lost your job. The initial emotional response might be disappointment, frustration, or fear. But by viewing this challenge through a Stoic lens, you can reframe it as an opportunity. Perhaps this setback is a chance to reassess your career path and pursue a more fulfilling direction. Maybe it's an invitation to develop new skills or network with different people. By embracing the challenge with a growth mindset, you open yourself up to new possibilities and personal development. This principle extends beyond career challenges. Every obstacle we face, whether it's a difficult conversation, a financial hardship, or a personal struggle, contains within it the seeds of growth. By choosing to view these challenges as opportunities, we cultivate resilience and adaptability. But how can we practically apply this principle in the heat of the moment when emotions are running high? One effective strategy is to ask yourself empowering questions. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of the situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this challenge to become a better version of myself? What opportunities might be hidden within this obstacle? By shifting your focus towards growth and learning, you take back control of your emotional response. You move from a place of helplessness to a place of empowerment. As you practice viewing challenges as opportunities, you'll find yourself becoming more resilient in the face of adversity. You'll approach difficulties with a sense of curiosity and determination, knowing that each trial is a chance to grow and evolve. But growth requires more than just a change in perspective. It also demands that we stay anchored in the present moment. In the next section, we'll explore the power of living in the here and now and how it can transform your emotional well-being. Get ready to discover the joy and peace that come from embracing the present. Principle 5. Live in the present moment. Have you ever found yourself dwelling on past regrets or worrying about future uncertainties? It's a common human experience, but one that can drain our emotional energy and rob us of joy. The Stoics recognized the importance of living in the present moment, the only time over which we have real control. Think about it. The past is gone, and the future is not yet here. All we truly have is the present, this very moment, right now. By focusing our attention and energy on the here and now, we can tap into a deep well of peace and contentment. Imagine you're in the middle of a beautiful hike, surrounded by stunning natural scenery. If your mind is constantly replaying past mistakes or fretting about future challenges, You'll miss out on the beauty and wonder of the present moment. But if you anchor yourself in the here and now, you can fully immerse yourself in the experience, the fresh air, the warm sun on your skin, the satisfying crunch of leaves beneath your feet. This principle applies to all areas of life. Whether you're engaged in a meaningful conversation, working on a creative project, or simply savoring a delicious meal, being fully present amplifies the richness and depth of the experience. But how can we cultivate this present moment awareness? One powerful tool is mindfulness meditation. By taking time each day to focus on your breath and observe your thoughts without judgment, you train your mind to be more present and less prone to wandering. Another way to anchor yourself in the present is to engage your senses fully. Take a moment to notice the sights, sounds, smells, and sensations around you. By bringing your attention to the sensory details of the present moment, you pull yourself out of the mental chatter and into the vibrant reality of the here and now. As you practice living in the present, you'll find yourself worrying less about things beyond your control. You'll be better able to savor life's joys and navigate challenges with a clear, focused mind. But living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the future altogether. It's about striking a balance, planning wisely, while also embracing the power of now. In the next section, we'll explore how practicing self-sufficiency can further enhance your emotional well-being. Get ready to discover the freedom that comes from finding contentment within yourself. Principle 6. Practice self-sufficiency. In a world that often ties our self-worth to external validation and material possessions, the Stoics offer a refreshing alternative: self-sufficiency. This principle is about finding contentment and peace within ourselves, rather than seeking it from outside sources. Imagine constantly chasing after the approval of others or the latest trendy gadget. It's an exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling pursuit. The goalposts are always moving, and the satisfaction is fleeting. But when we cultivate self-sufficiency, we anchor our happiness in something far more stable: our own inner resources. Self-sufficiency doesn't mean isolating ourselves or rejecting all external support. Rather, it's about developing a strong internal foundation, a deep sense of self-reliance and inner contentment. It's about knowing that we have the resilience and resourcefulness to handle life's challenges, even if the external circumstances are less than ideal. So, how can we practice self-sufficiency in our daily lives? One way is to focus on developing our inner strengths and virtues. Instead of seeking validation through likes on social media or expensive purchases, we can cultivate qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. By investing in our personal growth and character development, we build a solid foundation for emotional well-being. Another aspect of self-sufficiency is learning to find joy in simple pleasures. Instead of always chasing the next big thing, we can cultivate gratitude for the small wonders of everyday life. A beautiful sunset, a heartfelt conversation with a friend, a cozy evening with a good book. These simple delights can bring immense satisfaction when we approach them with a self-sufficient mindset. Practicing self-sufficiency also means taking responsibility for our own emotions and reactions. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances for our happiness or unhappiness, we recognize that we have the power to choose our responses. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we interpret and react to those events. As you cultivate self-sufficiency, you'll find yourself becoming more emotionally resilient and self-assured. You'll be less swayed by the opinions of others and more grounded in your own sense of self-worth. But self-sufficiency doesn't mean we're immune to the impact of our emotions. In the next section, we'll explore how taking responsibility for our emotions can further empower us to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Get ready to discover the transformative power of emotional ownership. Principle 7. Take responsibility for your emotions. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, "You made me angry," or "This situation is making me stressed"? While it's tempting to place the blame for our emotional states on external factors, the Stoics remind us that we have more power over our emotions than we often realize. The truth is, our emotions are not caused by external events themselves, but by our interpretations and perceptions of those events. Two people can experience the same situation and have completely different emotional responses based on their unique perspectives and beliefs. This is a tremendously empowering realization. It means that we are not helpless victims of our emotions, but active participants in shaping our inner world. By taking responsibility for our emotions, we reclaim our agency and our ability to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. Imagine you receive a critical comment from a coworker. You might initially feel a surge of anger or defensiveness, but by recognizing that your emotional response is within your control, you can choose to reframe the situation. Perhaps the feedback, while difficult to hear, contains a kernel of truth that you can learn from. Or maybe you realize that the comment says more about the other person's insecurities than your own worth. Taking responsibility for our emotions doesn't mean denying or suppressing them. It's not about putting on a fake smile and pretending everything is okay. Rather, it's about developing the self-awareness to observe our emotions with curiosity and compassion, and then consciously choosing how we want to respond. One powerful tool for taking responsibility for our emotions is the practice of cognitive reframing. This involves examining our thoughts and beliefs about a situation and asking ourselves, is this perspective serving me? Is there another way of looking at this that could be more helpful or empowering? By questioning our initial interpretations and exploring alternative viewpoints, we loosen the grip of negative emotions and open ourselves up to more constructive responses. As you practice taking responsibility for your emotions, you'll find yourself becoming more resilient and adaptable. You'll be better equipped to handle life's ups and downs, knowing that you have the inner resources to navigate any emotional storm. But taking responsibility for our emotions is just one part of the equation. To truly cultivate emotional resilience, we must also learn to let go of attachments that no longer serve us. In the next section, we'll explore the power of non-attachment and how it can liberate us from unnecessary suffering. Get ready to discover the freedom that comes from holding life's experiences with an open hand. Principle 8. Let go of attachment. In our quest for emotional resilience, one of the most significant obstacles we face is our own attachment. We cling to people, possessions, and outcomes, believing that our happiness depends on their presence or permanence. But as the Stoics wisely recognized, this attachment is often the very source of our suffering. Think about a time when you experienced a painful loss, perhaps the end of a relationship, the failure of a cherished project, or the death of a loved one. The anguish we feel in these moments is not solely due to the event itself, but to our attachment to a specific outcome or expectation. The Stoics encourage us to practice non-attachment, not as a form of cold indifference, but as a way of accepting the transient nature of life. They recognized that change is inevitable and that clinging to the illusion of permanence only sets us up for disappointment and heartache. Imagine holding a delicate flower in your hand. If you grasp it too tightly, you crush its petals and destroy its beauty. But if you hold it gently, appreciating its presence without trying to possess it, you can fully enjoy its fragrance and form. The same principle applies to our relationships, our goals, and our material possessions. Practicing non-attachment doesn't mean we stop caring or striving. It simply means we learn to hold life's experiences with an open hand, appreciating them deeply while also accepting their impermanence. We focus on the present moment, finding joy and meaning in the journey, rather than fixating solely on the destination. One way to cultivate non-attachment is through the practice of gratitude. When we approach life with a grateful heart, we shift our focus from what we lack to the abundance that surrounds us. We learn to appreciate the gifts of the present moment without clinging to them as a source of permanent fulfillment. Another powerful tool for letting go of attachment is the practice of memento mori, reflecting on our own mortality. By acknowledging the fleeting nature of life, we are reminded to cherish the present and to hold our attachments lightly. We recognize that our true security lies not in external circumstances, but in our own inner strength and resilience. As you practice letting go of attachment, you'll find yourself becoming more emotionally flexible and adaptable. You'll be better equipped to navigate life's inevitable changes and losses, knowing that your happiness and self-worth are not dependent on any single person, possession, or outcome. But letting go of attachment is just one piece of the puzzle. To truly develop emotional resilience, we must also learn to maintain perspective in the face of life's challenges. In the next section, we'll explore how cultivating a broader, more balanced perspective can help us weather any emotional storm. Get ready to discover the power of putting your struggles into context. Principle 9. Maintain perspective. When we're in the midst of a personal crisis or facing a daunting obstacle, it's easy to feel like our challenges are insurmountable. The weight of our struggles can feel all-consuming, obscuring our view of the bigger picture. But the Stoics remind us of the importance of maintaining perspective, of zooming out and seeing our difficulties in a broader context. Imagine you're standing at the base of a towering mountain, staring up at the steep, rocky path ahead. From this vantage point, the climb looks impossibly daunting. But now imagine soaring high above the mountain in a helicopter, taking in the panoramic view of the entire range. Suddenly, the single mountain looks much smaller, still challenging, but far from insurmountable. This is the power of perspective. When we're able to step back and view our challenges in the context of our entire lives, or even the vast expanse of human history, they often lose some of their overwhelming intensity. We realize that our current struggles, while difficult, are just one chapter in a much larger story. The Stoics often used the concept of the view from above to encourage this broader perspective. They imagined looking down on their lives from a cosmic vantage point, observing the fleeting nature of human concerns in the grand scheme of the universe. This practice helped them maintain a sense of equanimity and resilience in the face of life's trials. So, how can we practically apply this principle of perspective in our own lives? One powerful technique is to ask ourselves the question, will this matter in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? By projecting our minds forward in time, we can assess the true significance of our current challenges. Often we find that the things that feel catastrophic in the moment will eventually fade in importance as we move through life. Another way to maintain perspective is to study the lives of those who have faced and overcome great adversity. Reading biographies of resilient individuals or learning about the struggles of past generations can help us put our own difficulties into context. We realize that we are not alone in our struggles and that countless others have navigated similar challenges with grace and determination. Cultivating a sense of gratitude is also a powerful tool for maintaining perspective. When we focus on the blessings in our lives, the people who love us, the resources we have, the beauty of the natural world, our challenges start to feel more manageable. We recognize that even in the midst of difficulty, there is still so much to be thankful for. As you practice maintaining perspective, you'll find yourself becoming more emotionally resilient and adaptable. You'll be better equipped to navigate life's ups and downs, knowing that each challenge is just one part of a much larger tapestry. But perspective alone is not enough. To truly cultivate emotional resilience, we must also learn to approach life with reason and logic, rather than being swept away by our impulses. In the next section, we'll explore how the Stoic emphasis on rationality can help us navigate even the most turbulent emotional waters. Get ready to discover the power of a clear and steady mind. Principle 10. Cultivate rationality and logic. In a world that often prioritizes instant gratification and emotional reactivity, the Stoics offer a different path: the cultivation of rationality and logic. They recognize that our emotions, while powerful, can often lead us astray if left unchecked. By learning to approach life with a clear and reasoned mind, we can navigate even the most challenging circumstances with wisdom and resilience. Imagine you're faced with a difficult decision, perhaps a career change or a major life transition. Your emotions may be swirling with excitement, fear, or uncertainty. But by stepping back and applying rational analysis to the situation, you can cut through the mental chatter and arrive at a well-considered choice. Cultivating rationality doesn't mean suppressing or denying our emotions altogether. Rather, it's about developing the mental discipline to observe our emotions objectively without being controlled by them. It's about creating space between stimulus and response, allowing our rational minds to guide our actions. One powerful tool for cultivating rationality is the practice of Stoic journaling. By taking time each day to reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can gain greater clarity and self-awareness. We can identify patterns of irrational thinking or reactive behavior and work to replace them with more reasoned responses. Another way to develop rationality is through the study of logic and critical thinking. By learning to analyze arguments, spot logical fallacies, and think systematically, we can sharpen our mental faculties and become more adept at navigating complex situations. Cultivating rationality also involves learning to question our initial impressions and assumptions. Instead of automatically reacting to a situation based on our emotional impulses, we can train ourselves to pause, reflect, and consider alternative perspectives. We can ask ourselves, is this thought or belief based on sound reasoning, or is it a product of my own biases or fears? As we practice approaching life with rationality and logic, we develop a greater sense of mental clarity and emotional stability. We become less prone to knee-jerk reactions and more able to navigate challenges with a level head and a steady hand. But rationality is not a panacea. Even the most logical mind can be challenged by the complexities and uncertainties of life. The key is to cultivate a balance, to use our rational faculties to guide us while also remaining open to the wisdom of our intuition and the richness of our emotional experience. As we come to the end of our exploration of Stoic principles for emotional resilience, let us take a moment to reflect on the journey we've undertaken. We've learned to focus on what's within our control, to cultivate self-discipline and a strong inner self, to view challenges as opportunities for growth. We've discovered the power of living in the present, practicing self-sufficiency, and taking responsibility for our emotions. We've explored the art of letting go, the importance of maintaining perspective, and the value of approaching life with rationality and logic. These principles, while ancient in origin, offer timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life. They invite us to take an active role in shaping our emotional landscape, to cultivate inner strength and resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. But the journey of emotional growth is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong process of learning, practicing, and adapting. The Stoic principles we've explored are not a rigid set of rules, but a flexible framework for living with greater wisdom, courage, and equanimity. As you go forward, I encourage you to experiment with these principles in your own life. Start small. Choose one principle that resonates with you and focus on applying it in your daily experiences. Notice how it shifts your perspective, your emotional responses, and your overall sense of well-being. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but progress. There will be moments when you falter, when old habits of thought and reaction resurface. But with each challenge, you have an opportunity to practice, to learn, and to grow. As you continue on this path of emotional resilience, know that you are not alone. You are part of a long lineage of individuals who have sought to live with greater wisdom and purpose, from the ancient Stoics to the modern-day seekers of personal growth. So, take heart, my friends. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and emotional transformation. And remember, within you lies an unshakable core, a source of strength, wisdom, and resilience that can weather any storm. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoic principles for emotional resilience. May you go forward with courage, clarity, and an open heart. And may you discover day by day the profound peace and joy that comes from living a life of purpose, wisdom, and emotional mastery. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay with the Creator.